Royals baseball from Kauffman Stadium, where last night the Royals began a new series. They began a new month with a 6-1 victory over the Chicago White Sox. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg is coming up. So the struggles for the Royals offensively in April, when you break them down and figure out why, number one, struggling with runners in scoring position, and number two, which was always a Royals strength, their inability to score with 2 outs, and all they did last night was score with 2 outs.
Yeah, and that's refreshing. But look, 2-out rallies and 2-out RBIs are very important, not just because it helps your team get the lead and keep the lead, but it breaks the opponent's back. Dylan Covey, this kid was really rolling. It's the beginning of his career, and the Royals made him pay. Hitting that bag right there, that broke his heart. Hey, look, hang with him. But that changed the Royals' fortunes. Love to see the emotion, but especially this. Hosmer, their most prized power hitter going to the opposite field, was a welcome sight in front of the home crowd. That was a beautiful thing.
When we come back, we'll talk about Salvador Perez hitting the bag last night. It's not his only big hit in this early 2017 season. City is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. Salvador Perez had one of the best home run months of his major league career in April. He finished the month strong, and now he's beginning May strong.
Amazing how he's got a knack for that mistake. When they throw that ball right down the middle on a fastball, he ain't missing it. Beautiful to see that contact. Short, compact, powerful. Look at that. That's belt high. A lot of hitters are going to hit a line drive, but very few when you're in a groove like him. They ain't going to miss it. Now, I like that one the best, really. That's going to help the rest of his game. Going to the opposite field, letting the ball travel deep, really is going to help Salvi and his teammates, especially driving in them runs. But when you have fortune like that, that is what turns the mojo around to the good. Look at the energy. I love Salvi with that emotion. The fact that he was pumped energized the whole team and the whole city. Hopefully it'll continue.
And the team should be pretty energized with Danny Duffy on the mound tonight. who pitches so well at Kauffman Stadium. Joel will cover that when we come back. Change-ups. Pitch number 100 is in for a strike, and Danny Duffy has struck out 8.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg out in left field. Similar pitching storyline on back-to-back nights. Yesterday, it was left-hander from California who loves pitching at Kauffman Stadium. Jason Vargas, now 9 games in his last 9 starts at the K, 5-0, and the Royals are 9-0 in those starts. Now it is a left-handed kid from California who also loves to make his home at Kauffman Stadium. Danny Duffy, our Kia in the driver's seat, shows that it has been a long time since Danny has lost here at the K. Already has the record by far over Brett Saberhagen. 16 straight starts without a loss here at the K. His last loss, September of 2015, actually against the White Sox. Danny lost to Chicago up in the Windy City last week. The next night or day, Jose Quintana won against the Royals. More coming up.
To you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ford, going further so you can. It's a new month and a new feeling in the Royals clubhouse. The long losing streak is over, and now the Royals set their sights on back-to-back wins with Danny Duffy on the mound tonight. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. Well, I told you, I need a little prep, Peter Moylan, Joakim Soria, and Scott Alexander held the White Sox to 1 run on 5 hits. Avisail Garcia is back in the lineup tonight. He was out last night with a groin strain. All to face Danny Duffy. 5 starts and a 2.81 ERA.
Hey, Danny Duffy, Joel told you before the game, 16 consecutive home starts without a loss. He loves pitching here with all this good home cooking. Now I'm wondering who he's going to send that little message to. He's drawing in the back of the mound, but we can always spy on it a little bit later. There's his pitch back breakdown, his fastball, curveball, changeup. Where's Whitley? Whitley's in left field, hoping to drive that bus. He's leading off. Let's see if they can make the plays for Duffy behind the mound, and there he is, ace. These guys carry him with him every time they step on the field.
Tim Anderson leads off. He batted second last night and was 1 for 4. Outside at 94 miles an hour. Anderson has just 3 hits in his last 17 at bats and has struck out 7 times. Just over Escobar. And the White Sox begin the evening with a runner at first.
Now Danny, he's got something for the base runner. He's got a good move over there, a regular move, and then he's got a step off move that he'll use at times to keep him close and from getting a good jump. Anderson, he's a guy he'll run. Doesn't have a lot of bags yet, but he is 2 for 2.
Yolmer Sanchez is at second base tonight. Tyler Saladino begins the evening on the White Sox bench. Formerly known as Carlos Sanchez. Duffy had a short conversation with second base umpire Bill Miller before getting back up on the rubber. And he shows Anderson one of those moves.
And then what makes Duffy so tough is that he's going to throw all 3 pitches from the slide step, and that really disrupts the hitter's timing. Throw any pitch, any time from there. Now, he didn't slide on that time. He lifted up his leg. But see, I like how Duffy's been learning as he's been evolving and getting better and better every year. He learns how to change up that move to first base. He's not doing the same thing every time.
Now this is pure speculation, Hud, but maybe Danny Duffy was chatting with Bill Miller about what he just did, his slide step. Bill Miller's the crew chief. It was not this umpiring crew, but when Danny pitched against the White Sox on Tuesday, he was called for a balk, which really turned his night upside down. Todd Tishner from Garden City is back at the plate.
I saw that, but I'm thinking to myself, I don't even know if I want to put it in the umpire's mind. So watch this. To me, looks like he come to a complete stop right there for a pause in a second, and home plate umpire called it. And that kind of rattled Duffy. I don't think he's ever been called for a balk in that position right there. And I think if you would talk to Duff, he'd probably say, you know, I let my emotions get the best of me.
Before the balk, and it was early in the game, only 2 of 7 Sox reached base. After the balk, 10 of 18 reached. 2-2 on Sanchez, and Danny after the game was quite vocal about his feelings towards that call, and his position was not that the call upset him and he became unraveled emotionally, but he felt like he could not safely use his slide step the rest of the night because he was afraid he was going to be called for a balk again, and that's a big part of his game. Ground ball to the right side, and that's through. Anderson makes the turn and holds as Bonifacio is right on it, and the White Sox have 2 on with nobody out.
How about that? Excellent bat control there by Sanchez. Took the pitch and went with it, tried to hit the hole. A 2-3 hopper got through there. Colon couldn't quite get to it. And so far, they're fundamentally sound offensively off of Danny. That's a really nice at bat right there by Yolmer.
Melky Cabrera is the DH tonight. He was 0 for 4 last night. Switch hitter batting right-handed.
First innings can be tough for a lot of pitchers, whether you're a veteran or a young guy, just to find out what's working. And here's his runners in scoring position. He's had some difficulties this year with this, and see if he can kind of get himself together here and execute down in the zone.
Good firm fastball, 1-1. And mechanics should not be an issue because Danny's always pitching out of the stretch. It's not a matter of going from the windup to the stretch with men on.
Yeah, it simplifies his delivery and the mechanics.
1-2.
We showed you earlier on his pitch breakdown, Duffy's breaking ball and changeup. He uses those 2 pitches about the same amount of time as now the fastball is the one he throws a little bit more, but he's just about a 47%. Changeup's a good fooler and one he'll use to strike out.
Drew Butera back of the plate tonight, blocks it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's a changeup that he throws a lot more than he did just 2 years ago. Man, how did he lay off that?
That's designed for him to swing and hit the top of it.
Right where they wanted it.
Exactly. Well, you know, these guys have faced Duffy a lot now, and a lot of them have good numbers against him in a career. Melky has 31 at-bats, 6 hits, 1 homer. And what happens sometimes when when he used to use a majority of his fastballs, they would foul off a lot of pitches and tax his pitch count. So he'll take an early count double play ball right here and help him. 3-2.
Anderson's at second. Sanchez is at first. Nobody out. Strike 3 at the knees with a fastball.
He needed that pitch right there now. Well executed. Ball was down. Melky thought it was a ball, but that's exactly, if you're going to miss, where you want to miss. Don't want to miss up anywhere. Great job of framing it up by Drew Butera.
We were just talking about this on the radio side during the Minnesota series. Jason Castro, his ability to frame pitches is why Minnesota signed him during the offseason as Abreu steps in. And it used to be a very subjective way of evaluating a catcher. You know, he appears to frame the ball well. Well, that right there is how now they can measure catchers and their ability to frame. Drew Butera took a pitch that was out of the strike zone. The grid shows us that pitch is out of the strike zone, but it was called a strike. Now, is that Todd Tishner thinking it was a strike, or was it Drew Butera's presentation of the pitch that convinced Todd Tishner to call it a strike?
A little bit of both, but it sure helps when a catcher can present it like that. Duffy has induced 4 ground ball double plays so far in 32 innings pitched this year. That's what he'd love right here.
So they keep track of this now, catcher by catcher. How many pitches that are out of the grid are called strikes? Catchers are credited with a framed strike.
Right, and also where he sets up is extremely important too, and because that helps with framing it up. Oh,
there's the ground ball. Perfect double play ground ball, and Duffy gets around the singles from Anderson and Sanchez. Whit Merrifield leads off tonight, then Kane and Hosmer coming up in the bottom of the first.
Roll them up.
Saw an opportunity to rest some of his left-hand batters. Only Eric Hosmer will bat from the left side against Jose Quintana tonight. So Brandon Moss, Alex Gordon, Mike Moustakas begin on the bench. And in the case of Gordon and Moustakas, they have either good or decent numbers against Quintana. But Ned saw the opportunity to not only rest some guys, but get bench players some playing time.
5 home runs, you see, giving up all to right-handed bats. 257's not bad. This guy is a really good pitcher. I've always been impressed with him, mainly his mound presence. This is the last time he faced the Royals. 63% heaters. He's got a big curveball, and it very rarely does he use his change. Anytime a left-hander or any pitcher uses over 60% of their fastballs, that's good for the hitter. He likes the fastball. He wants that pitch, but he's good at commanding it. He puts it where he wants it.
Yeah, the flip side of that is the pitcher's probably got a pretty good fastball if he's going to throw it that often.
Believe it.
Fastball up, and it's 1-1 on Witt. Did not play last night.
Yeah, Witt's 3 for 9 off of him. He's had some success. But usually you see more changeups from a left-hander. He almost got it. It's a good swing there, just up enough. And his velocity is going to be, around 91, 92 on the average, although he can add, subtract with the fastball. But like I said before, you watch him, he never changes his expression. He got the same demeanor, which is really good for a pitcher. You don't want to tip your hand one way or another to the opposing hitters. He was very stoic.
2-2.
You can see his body slow down on that curve there. I can see it from here. Hitters can pick that up too. But a leadoff hitter's job mainly is to see as many pitches as you can. So then now you can go back in there and share with your own hitters what the pitcher has that particular night. Heater in.
And inside, 3-2. Lorenzo Cain bats second tonight. He'll be followed by Eric Hosmer.
Comes again. Oh man, somebody's going to get that tonight.
Garcia makes a play, which tells you only part of the story with the White Sox offense.
Well, that's why that they have the initials there, WL and A, because how can you tell them apart when they're all Garcias? It's the second time in the history of baseball that they've had an all outfield with the same names, last names, and the first time was earlier this season.
Willie Garcia, who you're looking at right there, was just called up. The White Sox sent Jacob May back to the minor leagues. Avisail Garcia is back in there in right field. And Shallow in right field. But he's able to retreat and make the play in front of Leury Garcia. And there's 2 down. He's got the war paint on tonight.
Yeah, I like it. Eye black at night. It's a good idea. Last night, let's see him. Right down the middle. A lot of guys are going to try to pull that. Not Haas. That's where his power is. That ball is center cut. And had it up plenty of time, and that woke the crowd up, and hopefully Haas.
Slowly but surely warming up a 5-game hitting streak. He has 9 hits in his last 7 games, and over that stretch has added 41 points to his batting average. Sanchez fields in shallow right. And Quintana knocks down Merrifield, Cain, and Hosmer in the bottom of the first.
second inning now, but Duffy really needed this. Going to conserve the pitch count. That's the 5th time he's grounded into a double play, or he's induced to the ground ball double play this season. And that's a pitcher's best friend, believe it. Saves the pitch count and a rally by the opposing team.
White Sox had opened the inning with back-to-back singles. 0-2 on Frazier. Since the Royals made a McDouble play in tonight's game, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow. The McDouble play all season long at participating McDonald's in the Greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence locations.
I gotta go get me one of those. I haven't tried one yet this year. Got plenty of chances. We've had a lot of double plays turn. Look at that swing. That's
jammed.
Wow,
man,
that's beautiful. Especially when all the infielders are pulled over to the left side. Fastball up and in, muscles it out there, and kept his bat intact, didn't break it. That's skill. See how he pulls his hands inside, right by his belly? That's why he's able to keep the bat from breaking.
Royals did not have to deal with Avisail Garcia last night. He injured a groin muscle on Sunday. And in our Toyota League leaders, here's one area where Garcia has gotten off to a good start, leading the league in batting average at .368, 3rd in the league in hits, 6th in the league in RBIs, 6th in the league in OPS. Ball 1 down and away.
You don't want to miss much time if you can help it, especially when you're in a groove like that.
.214 last season. Through the end of April and into the beginning of May. Completely different beginning this year. And he swung the bat well against the Royals when we were in Chicago last week.
You work hard in the offseason. You drop 20 pounds, 20 plus pounds like he did. When you come to spring training, you can't wait to test drive your new machine. And you tell yourself, I worked my tail off, I'm going to have a good season. So you have confidence coming in. That's what I can tell you. He's like, you know what? This is going to be my year. And when you work like that, that instills confidence in you. And that confidence guy is the guy you have to have up here at this level. If you don't have him, you're in trouble.
Duffy's ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he looks like he's trying to shoot the ball to right field. That or he's just tardy.
Traded to the White Sox in a 3-team deal from Detroit. It also involved Boston. And he was a rising star at that time. He had been the Tigers minor league player of the year he was traded to Chicago. Still only 25, so you can see how young he was. It's his 6th major league season when he was first called up. A lot of injuries and underproduction, so this needed to be his year. And he singles into right field. Frazier's going to run on Bonifacio, and the ball got out of Cuthbert's glove. Maybe got a little quick with the tag, and the White Sox have runners at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Garcia went to 2nd on the throw.
Looks to me like the offense of the White Sox has a game plan. He's trying to go to right field, and there's a pitch he was given right there to him. That's one of the reasons he's hitting for such a high average. Now Frazier, he took a chance there for sure, and you only go on that when you know for sure you're going to make it. It's too bad the throw was offline a little bit. They'd have had it by a mile.
Might have been safe anyway if the ball stuck in Cuthbert's glove.
Yeah, but like I said, if he did, the throw would have been a little bit more towards the bag, they would have had it. Strong throw, just off a little bit. And now they've got issues here. Nobody out, 2nd and 3rd. See if Duffy can go to work. Facing a guy, Giovanni Soto. 2 for 6. 2 of those hits have been homers, so Duff needs to keep it down.
He is a strikeout candidate. 8 strikeouts in 32 at-bats. Tapped it foul off the plate. White Sox had runners at first and second and nobody out in the first inning. Duffy got a strikeout, then the ground ball double play, and now second and third and nobody out in the second inning. One and two. Line base hit center field. Didn't quite get it in enough. So Frazier scores. Frazier, by the way, reached with a single on an 0-2 pitch, and now Soto drives in a run on a 1-2 pitch.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too good. Good swing though. I mean that's short, compact.
Bad location.
Nah, it's not bad location. That's a good piece of hitting there. White Sox aren't missing. Frazier's the only one that kind of shot the little jam shot out there to right field.
And here's Willie Garcia. First year with the White Sox. Been in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. Signed by them in 2010. Never made it to the big leagues. Played in AAA the last 2 years and then was claimed off of waivers by the White Sox. 1-1.
5 hits so far early in this game, and I'm not so sure that any of them have gotten a hit on any of his off-speed pitches. I think they've all been heaters, if I'm not mistaken. Gonna have to mix up those secondary pitches a little bit more, especially when they're getting on you like this. And the secondary pitches that moving down, the changeup and the breaking ball, those induce the double play balls like he had in the first. I think so go ahead and let him have that run for 2 outs early in this one here.
Up the middle, Colon backhands to Escobar. Didn't get it. Royals will take another look at it. Avisail Garcia scores on the play.
Pretty nifty glove work there. They're not going to replay it. He beat it out, but that's a little glove fit. That's all he could do. And Escobar's got relying on his great arm, but there's no chance. White Sox get their second run. But that was on a off-speed pitch. Those are the pitches that Duff and Butera are going to have to focus on with runners on.
And now Leury Garcia, number 9 hitter and center fielder. Sometimes you think of a number 9 hitter and you immediately say, wow, this is their weakest hitter. Still early, but this Garcia is hitting .306. Against the Royals, he has 8 out of 15, which is .533. Cuthbert backhands. They get the out at second and no double play. Leury runs very well, so another fielder's choice. Willie Garcia is out, 2 away. Tomorrow night, Fox Sports Kansas City will bring you both the Royals and the White Sox, and Sporting KC against the New York Red Bulls. Royals White Sox will be here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Coverage begins at 6:30. Sporting KC will be on Fox Sports Kansas City Plus at 7. For channel listings, go to foxsportskansascity.com. And also both games will be streaming on Fox Sports Go. Both Nate Bukaty and Matt Lawrence were here at the game last night, watching from the first row out in left field. We broadcasted a game or two out there.
Yeah,
they're great seats.
Nice. Wonder if they stuck around for Haas's bomb. Because he hit that right about there.
Well, Nate's up at about 4 in the morning, so I'm guessing he waltzed out of here before that late home run.
That's a safe bet.
Tim Anderson single to left first time up. Close. But Garcia's back in time.
The White Sox are playing with a renewed energy. There's life to them this year. Last year there was no life, and no wonder they kind of blew up the team. This year it seems like they have they're fresh. They're hungry. They're playing more as a team.
0-2. You don't have 9 guys going up there with 9 different agendas.
Yep. I can see it.
Rick Renteria. He was Robin Ventura's bench coach last year, and then Ventura resigned at the end of the season. So Renteria was the logical replacement. And the White Sox, boy, they had all kinds of problems last year. Remember, Adam LaRoche retired in spring training over how often he could have his son around the ballpark, which, you know, for fathers around the country admired him for that, but the effect on the team wasn't great. Chris Sale destroyed those throwback uniforms before one of his starts, and they had to suspend their own player for 5 games. One and 2 on Anderson. White Sox actually got up to a really good start last year. That on May the 9th, they had a 6-game lead in the Central Division. They were 13 games above 500, but when it was all said and done, it was their 4th consecutive losing season. To Colon, hard hit, and he blocked it like a catcher. So some hard hit balls, and the White Sox get 2 runs on 3 hits. Royals got 2 runs last night on 1 Jorge Bonifacio swing last night. Drilled by Andrew Kashner. Another Astros hitter was drilled, and then Lance McCullers threw behind Mike Napoli. And the bench is cleared. Carlos Gomez with making sure somebody holding him back had a lot to say to the Astros.
Exactly. Hold me back.
You can imagine the tension. I mean, number one, they're in the same division, they're in the same state. The Astros were 4-14 against Texas last year, 6-13 the year before. I mean, you could make a pretty strong case that Salvi grounds to Anderson. One away. You can make a very strong case that if there's one team that's held the Astros down the last 2 years, it's been the Rangers, and now the Astros think that, like, as though they're going to be the team that's going to win the division and be a World Series contender. They have a 3.5 game lead in the West, and if I was asked by my manager or my teammates to drill a hitter, Mike Napoli would not be at the top of my list.
Nope, I'd probably find somebody else.
Jorge Bonifacio got the Royals on the board last night with a 2-run home run.
I think the rivalries are good, and especially in your own division. That's good, but to be throwing at each other early this year, that's awfully early to get it going. And listen, you never know what's going to happen in the season. Early starts, slow starts, sometimes that's a mirage. It's like the White Sox last year. People going, oh man, watch them. Here they come. There they win.
Right.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Trying to get Bonifacio to chase a pitch high. Five-game hitting streak for Bonifacio, and he had 2 hits last night and a walk. Still 1-2.
Last night, very short mistake, obviously. Kobe hung one out there. Little breaking ball. Caught it just right.
All the way to the top of the steps. Slow breaking ball strikes him out. That's Quintana's first. Well, you can enjoy the crazy style and unbelievable comfort of Zubaz pants at the Royals Zubaz Palooza. That's this Friday against the Indians. It's a theme ticket, which includes a pair of these Zubaz and a seat for the game. And remember, you must purchase your Zubaz online at royals.com/theme tickets.
So do the high tops come with them? I don't think they're advertising those.
I don't think so.
It's the first time I
or the socks.
First time I saw the white shoes, though, for some reason. It stood out. It kind of really framed up the Zubaz nicely.
Really happy for you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking forward to a pair.
Tough start for Chesler. He's 4 out of 29. One of his hits is a home run. And with him in the lineup tonight, Ned Yost was asked before the game about whether he felt like it was fair to evaluate Chesler with as little playing time as he's had. First time he's had to play and try to be productive when he's not in there almost every day.
That's right. Welcome to the life of a utility player. It's not as easy as it looks. You're much better when you're playing every day. You have timing. He came up when Moose was out. He had all the reps, everything he wanted over there at third base. He's playing every day. But you play once a week. Yeah, that's tough. 2 out of his 4 hits have left the ballpark, though, off of Quintana. Can't swing for the fences, though. You're not getting to play every day. Just shorten it up, try to put it in play. Find a hole.
And then there's the added pressure of being a young player, trying to establish yourself and, you know, trying to do 3 or 4 things in one at bat. Laid off the breaking ball. Adam Hammery, first base umpire, says no swing.
Yeah, it's hard. Believe me, you want to do so much. And Quintana, if he's throwing that breaking ball down where he wants to, and he gets ahead, he's going to be tough.
Fastball up, and Chesler resisted the temptation twice to slam his bat in the dirt. Quintana has set down the first 6.
In early May, Joel Goldberg down by the dugout talking to Salvi today, and we say it over and over again. Sometimes you just have to catch that good break and things will be better. And they finally got that last night when Salvador Perez doinked that ball off of third base. First bases loaded hit for the Royals this year. And talking to Salvi, he said, I thought immediately off the bat, ground ball. Then it hits the bag, and he said, my next thought was, thank God, because we absolutely needed it. Not going to get any luck there, but double out of the gate as Merrifield will handle it. But guys, for Salvi, you could see it in the smile in all the players, just the relief that came by. And then how about this one after the game? Salvi's gotten to the point this year where he probably could get some director credits for Fox Sports Kansas City. He likes me to position the interviewee in a certain way so their back is to the dugout. I missed on that last night. He had to signal to me, turn him around, and he said afterwards, Joel, I'm sorry. It had been a while, but we need you to do that. Guys?
Important role you have, Joel, for that moment.
That's right.
That is the 6th hit for the White Sox in 2 innings and 1 batter, their first extra base hit. Sanchez at second, nobody out. Melky Cabrera struck out looking in the first inning. That was a huge out for Duffy, as he was able to work around 2 singles in that inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, and then in the second, Soto and Willie Garcia drove in the White Sox runs.
6 hits total. That last hit there from Yolmer Sanchez was the first hit on a breaking ball. The rest of them all been heaters.
Strike 1 and 2 on Cabrera.
And that makes Yolmer Sanchez 9 for 19 off of Danny Duffy. And there's a reason these guys are playing with confidence. They believe in themselves. They're like, hey, look, I can do it. Produce. And when you have good numbers off a guy coming in, you're stepping in and saying, all right, I own you. That goes back to the word confidence.
Still 2 and 2.
Let's take a look at locations where the White Sox offense have been hitting that ball off of Duffy. Okay, there's one right there. There's one that's up in the middle. It's up. And there's another one up. So what I'm seeing there, and that's a good swing. That ball wasn't exactly up, but they're a little bit at the, when they're elevated. It's a little bit easier to get the ball up and get it out for a hitter to hit it and see it.
Some of those pitches right where Duffy and Butera wanted it.
Right. You have to credit the hitter then.
This will be the 50th pitch for Danny. Tied him up bad, and it squirts foul. That would have been a tough play. Duffy would have been the closest. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A lot of foul balls tonight. A lot of pitches.
Got him. This time with a slider. Danny has struck out 2, and both times it was Melky Cabrera.
Little pitch sequence here on him. Now breaking ball just down off the corner. Another one, good spot there. That's where you want to stay. And you know, he knows that Melky'd like to get a pitch there. That's the one he wanted to get him over with. And another one there he missed. That's 2 in a row he missed. Foul ball there. And then the beauty to finish him down out of the zone. Good spot with the breaker.
A little bit inside on Jose Abreu, who grounded into an inning-ending double play in the first inning. He was 0 for 4 last night, and prior to that, he had gone 6 consecutive games with at least 1 extra base hit and multi-hits in all those games. So he was white hot. 2-0. Pulled foul, 2 balls, 1 strike. Parents, you're running out of time. If you want to register your child to be part of an opportunity of running a Major League Baseball game, Kids Run the Show, presented by Wonder Bread and Price Chopper. It's Sunday, July 2nd, but the deadline is coming up, as your child will have the opportunity to assist with select game day positions. 3-1. How about a junior team photographer for the day, a K crew member, TV broadcaster, grounds crew member, and more? The deadline is tomorrow. Royals.com/kids run the show. Off the end of the bat and in front of Bonifacio. Sanchez will be held. And the White Sox have 7 hits against Danny Duffy in 2 1/3 innings.
They're doing a heck of a job against Duffy. Now that's the changeup. That's just the 2nd hit now out of the 7th on an off-speed pitch. He went with it. Abreu likes to go to the opposite field, but very smart hitting there. Didn't try to pull it. If he tries to pull it, it's a ground ball out. Abreu's a good hitter. You know, is he a great hitter yet? Does he need more time to be great? He's pretty good. He's got a pretty good idea. I mean, you know, in his 3 years he's been here, he's not disappointed anybody.
I would say he's had a great first 3 years to his career.
All right.
He, in 2015, he joined Albert Pujols as the only players in Major League history with at least 30 home runs and 100 RBIs in their first 2 seasons. So that's great. He's hit at least 25 home runs in his first 3 seasons. First White Sox player to do that.
Yep.
But in the entire Major League landscape, is he great?
It's too early.
100 driven in each of his first 3 big league seasons.
Impressive. He knows how to hit, that's for sure. The great Hall of Fame manager Joe Torre was managing the Yankees my first couple of years of broadcasting. He'd come out to Anaheim and I'd go into his office and he would say, you know, I listened to your broadcast when you know we're done with games in the East Coast. You use the word great too much, Hud. You need to save that word for when it really pertains to somebody who really is great. I know you like everybody, but they're not all great. So stop using that word. Okay, all right, Skip. I still call him Skip because I played for him for 2.5 years. And it started making me think. So when I use that word, do you really need to use that word? I said, what are some words that work then? He goes, how about nice? He's a nice player.
Inside for a walk. Duffy was pitching Frazier carefully, and now they're loaded up with 1 out.
And they're having a tremendous game plan on Danny Duffy. I mean, that's a veteran hitter right there, Frazier. Looks at the pitch count. Pitch counts are on the board. There's no secrets, velocity, all that stuff now. 61 pitches. He says, I'm going to make him throw some more pitches. We want to get him out of the game. That was a great plate appearance there. Great. I used the word.
Okay.
I
thought that was.
I thought it was.
Yeah. He has been behind more times than he's been ahead in the count with his first pitch to the White Sox tonight. And Chicago has 8 base runners now in 2 1/3 innings. And a big spot in the game right here. Bases loaded, 1 out. If Duffy gets out of it, well, the Royals will gain some momentum from that. A big hit right here, and the White Sox would have a big lead with a very good pitcher on the mound. Changeup. 0-1 on Garcia. He singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Sanchez doubled. He's at 3rd with 1 out. Abreu singled, and Frazier just walked.
Wants that double play ball in the worst way here. Duffy does. Garcia, he'd like to do what he did last time up, try to think right field to keep him from rolling his hands over. He's grounded into 3 double plays all year. Fast runner. I think he's even picked up some speed. He was fast when he was 250 pounds last year. I think he's a half a step, maybe a step quicker this year. He dropped all that weight.
Off the end of the bat again, and that's in front of Merrifield. So the White Sox will get 1 run. Well, they haven't hit everything hard. They've also hit some pitches where it looked like Duffy put the ball where he wanted to, but they're certainly not over swinging tonight.
They're not, but that's in the middle. Guy hitting 340 is going to put that in play. Excuse me, 368. So just a tick off his command than he normally is. But that's where he wants to stay for a ground ball. 1-2 count last time up on Giovanni Soto. Duffy threw him a nice heater on inside and down, and he struck it to center on the line.
1-1.
Trying to stay away from a heater here. Make him try to fish down low.
One and 2 on Soto. That was the count on him when he drove in Frazier in the 2nd inning. So now it's Abreu at 3rd, Frazier at 2nd, and Avisail Garcia at 1st. Two and 2. We'll do it again. White Sox only scored 1 run last night, but the week leading up to last night, they were averaging 7 runs per game. So this is an offense with confidence, and that's well hit to left field. Merrifield makes the play. Abreu tags, and for the 2nd consecutive inning, the White Sox have scored 2. Really doing a good job tonight, hitting with 2 strikes.
They sure are. It's almost like they know what's coming.
This will be Danny's 30th pitch of this inning and his 71st of the game. And Garcia hits a smash foul outside of third base. And you may have noticed as the ball was traveling up the left field line that there was activity in the Royals bullpen, and Chris Young is getting loose with 2 down in the 3rd. Willie Garcia picked up an RBI when he grounded into a force out last inning.
Weren't expecting this, especially Dave Ireland, pitching coach. But the first couple innings, you could tell the pitch count was getting up there. They were fouling a lot of balls off, and the ones that they put in play were going by the position players and for hits.
One and two. White Sox have had their leadoff man on in each of the first 3 innings, so Duffy's been dealing with nothing but base runners tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, you see a little bit of body language there. Danny shaking his head at himself, mumbling to himself after that last pitch. On the ground to Cuthbert. He'll go the short way, and that's the inning. 75 pitches in 3 innings, and Duffy and the Royals are down early 4-0. The bottom of the 3rd, and sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game is Carol White, president of Holy Rosary Credit Union, a small low-income community development institution that helps serve the financially underserved population. They partner with social service and faith-based organizations to provide alternatives to high-interest payday loans, education, and other financial products. Carol proudly leads the hardworking staff and volunteers at the credit union. We're all committed to doing everything they can to abolish poverty and end unnecessary financial suffering.
Nice.
It's a heck of a resume.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Carol.
So the White Sox have had base runners all over the place, 9 in the first 3 innings, and the Royals are without a base runner against Quintana. He's set down the first 6 tonight. 1-1 against Alcides Escobar. Esky looked good at the plate last night. He had a double, he singled, also reached when he was hit by a pitch, and he scored a run. Got on top of a high fastball and drops it into left center field.
You could see catcher Giovanni Soto, he wanted that pitch up. He wanted that fastball up because Escobar's been swinging a lot of pitches up out of the zone. You see where he is. He's right up there at the top. He's at the top and he wants him to pop it up, but Esky is able to get that top hand on it just enough and to keep it off the barrel, and he jammed it.
He didn't know where he hit it.
I know, it looked like he thought he popped it up.
He was looking in the air to the right side of the infield.
Maybe the worm has turned for him too. He's starting to get some base hits.
Colon jammed, 1 hop to Frazier, and in a flash, 2 outs and nobody on.
Gosh, I mean, just like that, the rally's over.
Time to sign the kids up for Sluggers Blue Crew, a great deal for the little ones as they're getting ready for summer and the baseball season. This year's membership includes a Blue Crew jersey, a flat bill cap, special edition earbuds, Royals eye black, 2 home game ticket vouchers, and more, and it's all for just $30. So join now and sign up at royals.com/Blue Crew. Strike to Drew Butera. This is his first at bat of the homestand. Slow curve is outside. Salvador Perez is the designated hitter tonight. Two and one. This must feel like a mountain of runs for Jose Quintana.
Oh, he's giddy, but you'll never see it. I can tell you.
Every team every year has a bad luck guy when it comes to run support. Jose Quintana seems to be the White Sox guy year after year. He's 3rd worst in the American League right now. Just foul outside of 3rd, but that's a category where it seems like he is amongst the leaders every year.
Yeah, it's just some really bad luck. There's nothing you can do about it either. That's the thing. There's some times when the hitters will get together in their hitters meeting and say, come on guys, what do we got to do for this guy?
Full count on Butera.
He's never said anything publicly, never blamed the offense. He keeps on doing his job, and there's a reason why every team in baseball would like to have him. I mean, Chris Sale, he was one of the guys that, the prominent guys because of his resume. Good hit. I would have hit that ball hard.
Frazier backhands, and Danny Duffy's back out to the mound. So Quintana gives up his first hit, but because of the double play, he has faced the minimum through 3.
show you Miguel Cabrera just fresh off the disabled list. First at bat, really? This game's not that easy. 2-run home run. That puts the Tigers up 5-1, and that home run right there was his 450th in his career. Man, call the cops.
On the Indian side, our University of Kansas Health System injury report. Austin Jackson was placed on the disabled list today with a hyperextended left big toe. Indians are playing against his former team, the Tigers, whom he was with for a long time, and Indians got some bad news tonight in regards to their starting pitcher.
Yeah, we heard that Corey Kluber left the game with lower back discomfort.
0-2 on Leury Garcia, and watching some of the guys in uniform there in Detroit, it looked like that game was being played in the middle of December.
That's chilly.
47 degrees at the moment in Detroit. One and two on Garcia. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. The White Sox have put their leadoff man on in each of the first 3 innings. They have had 9 base runners in the first 3, and Duffy gets a strikeout as Garcia chases one up and away, and that's Duffy's 3rd. White Sox have given Danny a bad time, and traditionally that has not been an issue for Danny. His first 4 starts, a 1.32 earned run average, and now in his last 2, including tonight, 11.74. His first 4 were against Minnesota, Houston, Anaheim, and Texas, and now his last 2 against the White Sox. Off the end of the bat, Escobar takes care of Anderson, and Duffy could really use a quick inning. White Sox made him throw 34 pitches in the 3rd. 34 pitches in 1 inning, and you contrast that to Jose Quintana, who has thrown 33 pitches all night. Two down to Yolmer Sanchez.
Royals offense, you know, there's been a couple of hitters first time seeing Quintana swinging at the first pitch, making it out. So that's one of the reasons Quintana's pitch count is down, is he's getting some early count outs.
One and one on Sanchez. It's early, and yet Danny Duffy is already beginning his 3rd time through the order, 4th inning, and this is the 3rd at bat for the number 2 hitter Yolmer Sanchez. For a lot of pitchers, 3rd time through is when they become vulnerable. Kane makes a play in center field, and Duffy has his first 1-2-3 inning. He only needed 10 pitches to get through Garcia, Anderson, and Sanchez.
There you go. Give a little support.
Ball is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickup on the road, and you can find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment, find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by Jack in the Box, come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich HUD, only at Jack in the Box.
Ooh,
right up your alley.
I can handle it. It looks good. Second time through now. Quintana, 34 pitches thrown, has had no trouble at all. One lousy single by Eske. It's all the Royals' damage. He's punched out 2. Cruising, using 3 pitches, mainly 2. Fastball, curveball, occasional changeup. Here it comes. That 2 sign means it's a breaker. Slow breaker.
Sanchez throws out Witt, 1 down in the 4th inning. Every Friday night home game, May through August, will include Buck Night and summer fireworks. All hot dogs and peanuts. Just $1 with Buck Night, presented by Price Chopper. And then summer fireworks presented by Popsicle and Price Chopper. So 2 ballpark favorites, 1 Epic Friday, and the first one is coming up against the Indians. And we'll tell you who that individual, special individual is. That is Greg Pope. That is the father of one of our camera operators, John Pope. And he wants to wish his father a happy birthday. In fact, that's probably his son taking a shot of his dad down there. There he is. There's
hey,
Pope. Thataway, Pope.
There you go.
How old is he? How old is he?
Nice talking to you.
1-1 on Kane. John Pope, technically, he is our RF camera operator. That stands for radio frequency, right? No cable, right, Pope? No cable. It's all from a radio frequency. There we go. And it's an exciting job because he gets to not only roam the stadium, but at times he gets to roam the field. Another ground ball. Anderson gets a nice big hop. You better hurry. And Kane almost beat out a routine ground ball 2 away. But Pope, sometimes before the game, he gets to run out on the field when the starting pitcher does and follow him out to the mound. Sometimes after a hitter hits a home run and they round third, he gets kind of run right along the baseline with him on the field.
He might be the best conditioned athlete out there in the stands anyway. I mean, look at it. Those big shoulders he's got. He's got to carry that camera. Camera's got to weigh 30 pounds.
That's going to be a tough play for Sanchez. Impressive play. No out. But to get to that ball and make the throw that he did on line was not easy. Hosmer's on with a 2-out infield single.
He'll take it. Yeah, now you're going to place your Haas way over there like that in shallow right field. That little dribbler there, if you're playing him normal, that's an out, but he'll take the infield hit. Anything with 2. Need to get back in here. Salvi needs to jump him. 19 for 60 is Salvi in his career with 2 home runs off of Quintana. Jump him out of the air.
A little bit inside with a curveball.
It's kind of a sweep and breaking ball. It's not like it's a 12-6 hammer. It's not right over the top. It's a sweeper.
It goes through about 4 different zones.
Yeah, it does.
It starts way outside and ends up way inside. Fastball inside, 2-0.
I think Quintana knows if he leaves a fastball up around the belt, a mistake, that Salvi's going to jump on it. He knows that. But he's going to try to keep that ball down best he can. 2 outs here. He doesn't want to take any chances. Salvi's having a heck of a start to his season.
Jammed him. And Anderson will go to first. And that's the inning. The Royals have 2 singles in 4 innings against Jose Quintana. It's time for our sprint trivia question. Which pitcher holds the major league record for consecutive home starts without a loss? Also multiple choice. Danny Duffy has the Royals record. 16 consecutive home starts leading up to tonight without a home loss. 4 more than any other Royal. 4 more than both Brett Saberhagen and Kevin Appier. So of those 4, the major league record for consecutive home starts without a loss.
Wow, this is a tough one, even though it's multiple choice. Since the White Sox are in town, I'm going with Blackjack McDowell.
Drilled deep to left field, off the chain link fence. Merrifield plays it quickly. Cabrera to second. He is out. A scramble. Colon trying to apply the tag. Cabrera trying to get to the bag. And Melky Cabrera points his fist out to acknowledge the throw by Merrifield. We'll wait a moment as the White Sox will take another look.
I don't know how they can replay it. He overslid the base. First of all, nice job by Whitley playing it off. Didn't take a big crow hop. Just got it. Taking a page out of Alex's book. Didn't touch the base there. Touched it there. Colon behind the back or between the legs. Got him. Let's see it again. This angle's better. Funny hop there it took. You see that? And Colon's got its snow cone in the tip of his glove.
The ball, between the legs tag.
Yeah, the ball hit the dirt and kicked towards the third base side. Colon did a good job of staying with that. That'd have been a bummer had he missed it, but he's stuck in the tip of his glove.
And now 0-2 on Abreu.
See how it's barely in there. Now, it's like to me, he might have gotten him, and he never touched the base now. That's right, he got him. Melky's trying to call timeout.
Now Colon to the middle and gets Abreu. 2 outs. Abreu is 1 for 3.
Nice assist by Whitley out there in left field. It's his 4th outfield assist in his career.
Inside to Frazier. He is singled, walked, and scored a run. Two 2-0. 93 pitches thrown by Duffy. 75 of those in the first 3 innings. Off the plate. Duffy will take care of it. And that's the inning. A 9-pitch top of the 5th inning for Danny Duffy. with your student ID. Plus enjoy a happy hour special as you listen to live local music on the Outfield Experience stage before the game. Visit Royals.com/student night for the full list of bands and for tickets. So far, the Royals have 2 singles in 4 innings against Jose Quintana. Bonifacio leads off. Fastball at 92 is in for a strike. Bonifacio struck out swinging at a curve in the second. Quintana has struck out 2. Broken bat. And Garcia slides in to make the play. He's been playing a very shallow right field against the Royals. And it was just 2 days ago, Hud, that he had to come out of a game early because of tightness in his groin. No problems here.
Well, this is a tester for that groin, no question about it. But you're right. The only way he catches that is he's way in to begin with. Because Bonifacio, you know, he's a big kid. And when he takes a full swing, most of the time, that's going to fall in there. Outfielder's going to go back. His first reaction. But his groin must be okay.
Cuthbert struck out when he chased a high fastball in the second inning. Generally speaking, and this is not a hard rule, but if an outfielder plays shallow, a lot of times that's a weakness for him coming in. They're better going back. And if an outfielder plays deep, they're better coming in than they are going back, so they compensate for their weakness. Heads up, Hud.
It comes back.
That was
hot.
Whistling back here.
Yeah, it's too bad it wasn't right at us though. All we had to do was just do this. Doc got a little scared. He got flustered. Doc is turning red. Look at him.
Way to throw him under the bus.
Doc, come on, man.
We had a group of visitors up in the booth before the game tonight, and they're asking you if we get foul balls, and you said nope. They raised the netting and
never get one.
Don't get him in the booth, and that was pretty close.
It really was.
Quintana has thrown 50 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. Got him to chase a high fastball again. Almost identical pitches to get Cuthbert in the second and now in the 5th.
That's a hard pitch to lay off of, especially when you hadn't played in a while. You know what, you want to hit it and it looks so good, but you just can't get to it. But there's a reason that Quintana throws over 60% fastballs, and we talked about it before he towed the slab. He's good at it with his command. If he's good with his command, you can get away with that. And he's not blazing it by people. He's going 90, 92, but he's hitting his spots. So he puts it exactly where he wants it.
Pulled foul. You know, his story's an interesting one. He was really a late bloomer, Quintana. Signed by the Mets 11 years ago out of Colombia and was released the next year. He was with the Mets for 1 year. He was released. Didn't pitch at all in 2007. Then signed by the Yankees. And they moved him very slowly. He spent 2008 and 2009 pitching for their Dominican Summer League team. I mean, that's the lowest minor leagues before they come to the United States. So he was not a prospect from the beginning and somebody that just flied through the minor league system. He took the long route and now 28 years old. In the air to center field, and Garcia runs it down at the track. We played 5 at Kauffman Stadium. The White Sox have a 4-0 lead.
American League East, Yankee Stadium. Aaron Judge began the day tied for the American League lead in home runs, and now takes that lead with his 11th home run, the big 6'7", 282-pound rookie. Guys, he's 25 years old, already has 11 home runs, and oh, by the way, there have been 6 home runs so far in that game, 4 from the Yankees and 2 from the Blue Jays.
Well, still classified as a rookie, but he got some big league time last year. So the big leagues were not a complete mystery to him, and he had a tough time putting the ball in play last year for the Yankees.
Sure did, but you know, when they gave him the job this spring, said, hey, it's yours, kid, go ahead. That instilled some confidence in him, and he got off to a good start, and that's all it takes. Sometimes get your career going.
Fouled away by Garcia, who's 2 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI. Aaron Judge last year had 84 at-bats and struck out in half of those at-bats. And so that's why, what is it, 100 and something plate appearances, I think, before you lose your rookie status. 1 and 2 on Garcia. That's a nice advantage to have when a job is given to you at the beginning of a big league season, but you have some big league time. You've been to the stadiums, you know the routine, you've faced some big league pitching.
Better believe it.
Two and 2 on Garcia. Danny Duffy has back-to-back scoreless innings after giving up 2 in the second and 2 in the third. And the White Sox have really made him work. He threw 75 pitches in the first 3 innings. And now beginning the 6th, this is pitch number 99 tonight. He was very pitch efficient in the 4th and the 5th to allow him to get into the 6th.
Oh, but you know, nice to see him settle in and hit his spots. But I'm telling you, the first 3 innings, it looked like the White Sox knew what was coming. I mean, they didn't miss a thing, especially the fastballs. He was on them. They were on him.
Leadoff walk, and now the White Sox have had their leadoff man on in 5 of 6 innings tonight. Let's answer our sprint trivia question. Danny Duffy has a Royals record 16 consecutive home starts without a loss. Which pitcher holds the major league record for consecutive home starts without a loss?
I have no idea. I guessed Blackjack B. I heard that was wrong.
One of your favorites, Kenny Rogers. 38.
Wow, that's pretty good. Now, was that when he was with the Rangers?
It was what was it, 97 to 2000? 97 to 2000. So it was more than one team, but it was still home starts.
Okay.
What was the perfect game? Was what, 94?
First year the ballpark in Arlington was there, yeah.
And you made the first out of the 9th inning, right?
Right, on a semi-liner. I called it a line. I thought I barreled it, but you know, I didn't really smoke it. But Rusty Greer came running in. The place was packed. I'll never forget it. It was really cool being in a game like that. And Rusty Greer came in and flew parallel to the ground and caught it on his belly. The place went up for grabs. And you know, whenever there's a close play like that, with just 2 more outs to go, you're going to get it.
That's the highlight they usually show from his perfect game. And you told Rusty Greer something the next day at the cage.
Next day, I said, hey young punk, I set you up for the career catch of your life. You'll never forget my name. He had a 10-year career. I was broadcasting. Ooh, that's a hit. I was broadcasting, and I went up to him.
Garcia goes first to third. Runners at the corners, nobody out.
I said, hey, remember that catch 10 years ago you made? Did you ever make a better, more important catch? He said, no. I said, all right. I was right.
You were right. 10 hits for the White Sox against Danny Duffy. That ties a career high for him. Just the second time he's given up that many hits in one start. And so he'll depart with runners at first and third. Nobody out in the 6th inning. Chris Young is a Chevy call to the bullpen. He'll get Willie Garcia when we come back. Fast-paced, pick up and play MLB action on consoles and mobile. RBI Baseball is packed with your favorite teams, players, ballparks, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com and get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Don't stop believing.
Nope. Can't. It's too early.
Chris Young out of the Royals bullpen. And he's making just his 7th appearance. And comes on with runners at first and third and nobody out. Royals are down 4-0 and facing Willie Garcia. 2-0.
Chris Young, fastball, slider. Relies on location, fly ball pitcher. Successful when he's getting those guys to swing at that pitch just above the belt. Just like that.
White Sox had 12 base runners against Danny Duffy in 5+ innings. And high pressure innings in just about every inning. They had their leadoff man on in 5 of their 6 innings against Duffy. 2-2 on Willie Garcia. Full count. Slider struck him out.
Pretty nice job, Chris Young coming in, throwing that invisible. Nice little slider on the outside part of the plate. Now, if you've never faced Chris Young before, you're in trouble. He abuses hitters that never faced him before. Some of the guys that have seen him kind of can lay off of that high fastball and those little sliders away and kind of wait. You got to wait on him. But you know, if you're aggressive on Chris Young, he'll get you. Good spot there.
Now bunted off of Garcia's ankle, trying to get another Garcia down from third. Avaseo Leury Garcia is 0 for 2. Trying to bunt again, and down to the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Chris Young uses his height to his advantage, 6'10", creates a very difficult angle for the hitter, and has a very loose wrist, which allows him to get a lot of bite on his slider. Up the middle, and Colon comes to the plate. Butera had left his position. Butera figured that Colon would try for a double play, so he was running over to back up first base.
Well, that ball right there, even though I think Colon was thinking that Leury Garcia is so fast, there's no way we're going to turn it, so we're going to get the out at home. That was what I'm thinking he was thinking. Now, you want to go ahead and try to attempt it, but you can see how close Colon is. He's way in. Okay, that's a jam shot. Now, maybe if he gets it to Escobar, who's waiting there, they could have turned it, but I don't know. I'm just telling you what I think Colon was thinking. But it didn't look good. Didn't work.
So no outs and another run home. 5-0 Chicago.
You might just want to go ahead and try to turn that, but you know, because Colon was in so close, he wasn't back at double play depth. He was in like 10 feet in front of that even. So that's going to help him shovel that pass off to Esky, who was waiting at the bag to get him. And I think Drew saw that.
It's going to be scored a fielder's choice RBI. So no hit, no error. 4-2 fielder's choice RBI for Leury Garcia. Tim Anderson 1 for 3. And that's fouled away. So anyway, talking about Chris Young, you know, he's got the height advantage, good extension with his wrist, and you know, you got to pry excuses out of him with a crowbar. I mean, he's just not going to go there, but he was on the disabled list early on with a right forearm strain, and that just takes away from a pitcher's extension. That's a strikeout of Anderson and 2 down. And then when the season was over, he had abdominal surgery. A tough year for him last year, but he was hardly at 100%.
No, he's a gamer. And you know what, too, Chris Young? Chris Young's a world champion pitcher. He's been there and done it. He's had one heck of a long career, and he's been with several teams. And stand-up guy, intelligent, smart. You know, if he thinks you stepped out of bounds a little bit, he might let you know it.
Good sliders, a little bit outside.
Family man, got some young children. He's got a great life ahead of him.
He's had to prove himself year after year. You know, you look at his career numbers, and he's had some injuries along the way, so he's had to prove that he's been healthy, but impressive career numbers. And yet every year it seems like, you know, he's trying to prove himself to another organization.
But with his intelligence, you know, I believe that he's going to make a great front office personnel guy sometime. I don't know what capacity, but, you know, I think that's kind of where he's wanting to go. He's into a front office somewhere. Someone could use his experience, his knowledge.
His father-in-law, Dick Patrick, is the COO and president of the Washington Capitals. So he's got some family to draw upon if he wants to go into the front office. Bonifacio is going to throw to third as the White Sox get another run. Soto scores on the base hit by Sanchez. Both runs are charged to Danny Duffy, and that closes the book on Danny. The White Sox get 6 runs on 10 hits against Duffy.
That slider stayed up. And Yolmer continues to be firecracker hot. That's as many runs as Duffy gave up against the White Sox in his last appearance, April 25th.
Yeah, the White Sox have scored 12 runs on 19 hits against Duffy. Otherwise, Danny was pretty much unhittable in his first 4 starts, but back-to-back against the White Sox. It's hard to, for a pitcher, it's hard to dominate the same team twice in 1 week. And it's also hard for an offense to knock around the same guy twice in 1 week.
Yeah. As an offensive player, you like facing that pitcher twice in 1 week. You want, everything's familiar. And even though you might not face that pitcher again for another month, I mean, you still, once you see him once or twice, you're familiar with him. But that week's period of time, that's good for a hitter. Now, obviously, the Royals and Quintana, Quintana's just been good. They have that same advantage that the White Sox had on Duffy. Now, the Royals got 5 hits off of Quintana in 6 innings. So here we are, 6 innings, and we've only gotten 2. He's been good again. But he's got 6 runs. He's probably going, wow, I hit the jackpot.
Cuthbert is out, and he makes a play in foul territory. The White Sox get 2 more runs in the 6th inning and have given Jose Quintana a big lead, and he can't wait to get back out there. For our Sonic Slam inning, our contestant is Claire Reagan from Overland Park. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Claire wins $1,500, but we're going to shoot higher than that. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Claire wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. Colon, Butera, Merrifield trying to get on base for Kane, Hosmer, and Perez. And getting on base Has been a difficult challenge for the Royals tonight, as Jose Quintana, now pitching with a big lead, especially for him, has allowed just 2 base runners in 5 innings.
And he was already on the pitcher's mound before half the Royals were off the field. I'll tell you how excited he is to get back out there again. And that's as much as of an expression you're going to see from him.
1-2 on Colon. Yeah, you know, we had a great shot of him just sitting in the dugout as the White Sox were batting in the top of the 6th. And you had made the point earlier that his demeanor just doesn't change at all. I mean, he's almost like a wax figure. You know, I mean, it's just there's one expression on his face.
You know, that's really good when it comes to body language that hitters look for. Okay, look, he's towing the slab right there already. The Royals haven't even gotten off the field yet. And that's Comfort, who just caught that foul ball at third base. So let's take a look at the play that possibly could have been a double play, but we'll see. You're down by 5 runs. The double play is more important than cutting the run down at home by then. Excuse me, down by 4 at the time. Okay, Colon, he's in. He's in. All he has to do is kind of shuffle that to, well, look where Escobar is. Let's see if he just goes ahead and do it. Just freeze it right there. Okay, here's Leury. He's got a long way to go to get to first base. So can he shuffle to Esky and Esky hose him? Probably. But when you're down by 4, the run really, the outs are more important. Get the out, and that inning would have been over because there was 1 out. So you want to go ahead and get out of the inning there, but you know, it's just one of those decisions that he made, and had Butera caught it, they would have gotten 1 out anyway.
But he wasn't expecting it.
No,
I mean, he was thinking, okay, let's
turn
get a
it.
double play.
Right, roll it.
We probably have to really hurry this double play with Garcia's speed. So if the ball gets away, I want to be in the area to help out.
Yep.
There have been very few hard hit balls against Quintana tonight. Butera had 1 of them when he grounded out to Frazier at third in the 3rd inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Called 3rd strike, and that's 4 for Quintana. Quintana's a good pitcher, and he's pitched well for the most part against the Royals. If you look at numbers outside of his record, look at that. He's made 23 starts against the Royals in his career and has 2 wins. And that 2nd win was on Wednesday, so he had 1 win in his first 22 starts against the Royals. The issue for him against the Royals is an issue for him against most teams, and that's run support. And with 6 runs of support tonight, that ties for the most he's ever had against the Royals. And this is his 24th start against the Royals.
And for the 6 years I've been here, every time I've seen him pitch, he pitched a good game. He always pitched us tough, but we'd always beat them by just a small margin. But a win's a win.
If you go back to the beginning of 2015, and you start counting quality starts, only 1 pitcher in the major leagues has more than Jose Quintana. That was a broken bat ground ball foul. Quintana has 51 quality starts since the beginning of 2015. He's on his way to another one tonight. And only Max Scherzer has more. 53. He's tied with Madison Bumgarner. He's tied with Chris Sale. I don't know, is Scherzer pitching tonight? There's a base hit into center field. 3rd hit for the Royals tonight. Merrifield's first.
There we got him a fastball right down the middle, center cut. And you know, Quintana can do that now. 6-run lead. He's thinking, you know what? I'm going to take my chances. He's going to hit the ball at somebody and make it out. But to Merrifield's credit, he found a hole.
Scherzer, by the way, is not pitching tonight, so Quintana gets another quality start, and he'll be one shy of the most quality starts in the big leagues going back to 2015.
That group of pitchers right there are the best pitchers in our era today in our game.
Lorenzo Cain is flied to right and grounded out to short. Out to Sanchez, and that'll do it. 6 scoreless innings on 3 singles for Jose Quintana. Royals baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. By Panera. Panera caters for every group, every size, every meal. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all, for less. Late night for that little guy, but he is wide awake. And why wouldn't he? He's got a bucket of Topsies in his lap.
Yeah.
He'll be winding down at about 3:15 this morning. And
somebody's hiding under that sweatshirt there.
That little guy will have nightmares about that. You know, a headless sweatshirt with a hand coming out of it.
Well, you got to believe it might be somebody he knows. Uh-oh.
Oh, you're not afraid of the headless sweatshirt, that's for sure. You come out of there, man, and I'm going to whack you.
There's a hand. Okay.
That was the kind of stuff I was afraid of when I was a little kid. You know, lying in bed and like a hand would come out of a blanket or something like that, you know?
Yeah. He says, don't scare me none. Yeah, there
I know you. Stop it. I can read those lips.
Don't hit me on the head like that. Thank you, Rescue. Nice routine play.
I hear those 2 words 63 times a day in my house.
I bet.
He's chapped, man. If you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals.
Looks like they got a nice seat right down there on the screen.
Jose Abreu is 1 for 3 with a run scored. 1-1. White Sox have been putting the pressure on the Royals all night. This is their 7th inning at the plate. 5 of the 7 innings they've had their leadoff man on. They had 12 base runners against Danny Duffy in 5+ innings. All 6 runs have been charged to Danny. This is Chris Young's 2nd inning and his first full inning. One and two. Still 1 and 2 on Frazier. His base hit in the 2nd inning extended a hitting streak to 9 games and raising his average to 203. So he was off to a slow start. The White Sox were really off to a slow start on offense. Their pitching has been carrying them. White Sox enter tonight, and it's only going to get better, with the lowest earned run average in the major leagues. They also have the lowest bullpen ERA in the major leagues. So for most of April they were scuffling on offense, but their pitching was compensating. Good slider breaks Frazier's bat, and Chris Young has 2 ground balls to short.
So let's show you Bring in the Lumber by Yellowwood, and it's all about Avisail Garcia. Knocks in his 21st run on the season here in the 3rd inning on this single, and he's been continuing to stay hot even after missing a couple of days with a slight little groin, tight groin. He's back in there raking again.
Is there a such thing as a slight groin injury?
Slight tight groin. Slightly tight. No. Well, you're gonna watch those things. They get a little tight at the hamstring. You know, that's something you got to keep an eye on, or you know they'd lose him if he goes ahead and tries to stretch it out. So slight little groin.
Yeah, I'll give you $5 if you repeat those words to Garcia to his face tomorrow.
What?
Hey, Avisail, how are you? I'm Rex Hudler. We were talking about you last night on the air, and I said that you had a slight, tight little groin. And then we'll see how fast you could run at your age.
No, I've had one before. Tight groin.
Oh, drilled him.
Now.
Well, he's done a really good job, Garcia has, and Gibrutera gives him a little pat on the back. Garcia does the same thing. He knows that Young didn't want to hit him, but he's done a really good job with pitches out over the plate, going up the middle into the opposite field. So you try and tie him up inside.
That's right. Got him on a forearm.
Giovanni Soto is driven in 2, and he's scored a run. On the ground to Cuthbert, who bobbles, and he had to change direction. He wanted to go to second, but then realized the play was to first. So Chris Young, typically a fly ball pitcher, gets 3 ground ball outs in the 7th.
Quintana, he is spinning a gym tonight. That's what I mean, spinning it. That breaking ball, fastball, up. He's doing everything he can do. Just 71 pitches, no walks, no runs, 65 fastballs, 27 curveballs. That's the percentage. So look, he's been dealing.
And when he's done, whenever that is, and he hands it off to his bullpen, our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard reminds us of how good that White Sox bullpen has been to begin the season. Hosmer pulls it on the ground, and Sanchez from shallow right throws him out. Eric has hit 3 ground balls to Sanchez tonight. 1 resulted in an infield single. He is 1 for 3. And when you start looking at why the White Sox are 2 games above 500 in early May, it's still very, very early, but this was a team that was not supposed to contend. They traded away big names, but their pitching, their bullpen in particular, they had the most blown saves in the American League last year, 28 blown saves, and now they have the lowest bullpen ERA in the major leagues. Their defense, at least against the Royals, has been much better. And the team concept offensively.
New manager. Sometimes get a new boss in there, cleans the air out a little bit, says, all right, boys, let's get back to the team philosophy. It's too much me, me, I. And Rick Renteria was there last year. He was the bench coach, so he knows exactly what was going on there. That's an advantage to him and the White Sox. Look at that. That's beautiful.
That is a foul ball by inches.
Too bad, because that looked like that was going for a double for sure. Good idea.
It would take a very long time if you wanted to gather a small group of people who did not like Robin Ventura, one of the most liked, respected guys in the game.
Love him.
And at the same time, he was so calm that at times I wondered if there wasn't enough energy from the manager's position. Outstanding major league player. Salvi's down on strikes, 2 down in the 7th inning, and it's just one thing for me, Hud, but I just always noticed when Robin Ventura would go out to make a pitching change, and you're big on body language, and what kind of message are you sending with your body language?
Yep.
And I would say this tongue-in-cheek, and yet with some seriousness as well. I mean, when he'd go out to the mound, he looked like he was going to tell his kids that the puppy just got run over by the neighbor's car. As opposed to a manager that pops out of the dugout and marches to the mound like he's leading soldiers, to the front lines. And I don't want to hang the White Sox problems on Robin Ventura, but it was a low energy team.
Yeah, it seems that way, and they didn't have a winning record at all. But they, Jerry Reinsdorf, he gave him plenty of time to settle in, and just things weren't working out. I think Robin was a little burnt out, to tell you the truth. Maybe he wasn't exactly cut out for it, but he's a great baseball man, and they can use him in another capacity sometime. But he's chilling out. His record was .375 and .435 in 5 years, so he was certainly given plenty of opportunity. It's not easy.
That's 60 games under 500.
Yep.
Well, same thing happened in Colorado. Walt Weiss, another guy, good playing career, good baseball mind, no managerial experience, and just got burnt out and resigned.
Right. Robin's first year was his best year with the White Sox. It looked good. They finished in 2nd place in the division at 85 wins. They were 85 and 77. Then it went to 5th, and then 3 straight years at 4th place, and it just was like a whole hum. We need a little bit more to do, but I'm good friends with him. And when I saw him at the end of the season, I said, Robin, what do you think? And he says, probably going to take it to the house.
Bonifacio is on, and that is walk number 1 from Quintana.
And there's the little display right there of frustration by Quintana. I mean, not much, but he gave you a little something. Snapped at the ball, coming back to him. Wasn't happy he walked the guy, but it's 2 outs. He's spinning a gym. Do you think that's my term?
Yeah, that's dusting off an old one there.
Yeah, that's not my term. That's my producer's. He used that. He said, son, this guy's spinning a gym. I liked it. I went with it.
You're a producer? Do you have your own producer?
Well, we have a producer.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
I didn't realize it was you. I mean,
no. He
all this time I thought it was our producer.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, that's just another bad term of words I use together. A little bit selfish. It's out.
Chesler's having a tough time tonight, laying off Quintana's high fastball, and Quintana knows it. To go with it again, or does he change the eye level here?
Just stay high and stay tight. Come in there again. Yeah. Still looks good. Chesler's has not been as productive this year because he's not getting regular reps. This game all revolves around timing. The guy that can sit and produce, then when he gets his once-a-week start, that's a valuable player for you. And Chesler's learning it. This is his first year in this role, and it takes some time to learn.
And what a level to learn it at. It's not like this is A ball and he's learning how to do this.
No, it's some guys, had a lot of time in the minors, maybe had some, was confident in who they were and knew exactly who they were, could come up right away and do that role, but not him. He's learning. So far, I bet he has a good season. He's got very good hands and tools.
So there's the first, and Soto with that awkward throwing motion throws it high, but Abreu comes down on the bag. 7 scoreless innings for Jose Quintana.
Duffy, he was okay. It just seemed like he left a few out over the middle. That first of Soto, RBI, top of the 2nd inning. How about Avisail Garcia? RBI in the 3rd inning. The White Sox scored 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and 2 in the 6th, and here's 1 in the 6th. This guy right here, Yolmer Sanchez. He's unconscious. He's having a series. RBI single in the 6th inning, and that's where we're standing. 6-0 here. White Sox 11 hits, Royals 3. Been tough after their first win in a while to handle these White Sox. Quintana's been unbelievable. So he's shutting the Royals offense down. In the meantime, I couldn't believe how they were hitting Duffy. Staying short with their swings, putting the ball in play hard, getting some base hits to the opposite field. White Sox did everything right against Danny.
Chris Young's getting a lot of ground balls tonight. He gets Willie Garcia for the first out in the 8th. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save.
Patio's cool, man. It's going to be this summer when it gets hot here too. Sitting right above that fountain. That fountain shoots up. I was out there opening day. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I was at the beach. A little breeze was blowing. Shady. That's where I don't want to watch a game. You said you want to go to the dugout suites. I want to sit on a Price Chopper patio out there. I want to sit right there on that rail and let that fountain breeze just blow in. Hey, there they are.
See, they'd probably like to have you out there.
That's right.
You don't want to sit next to that guy, though.
No, come on. Don't get carried away. Let's go.
Hud, you're talking about the White Sox approach against Danny Duffy. Danny threw 103 pitches tonight. He got 12 swings and misses. So they were just very short. They were thinking up the middle.
Exactly.
The other way.
That explains it.
At the knees, 2-2 on Leury Garcia. And I thought, you know, at least early in the game, some of the hits that Danny was giving up were right where Butera's target was. Either on the edge of the strike zone or maybe slightly out of the strike zone. But
well,
they just had the right idea.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear Danny's take. You know, he's always upfront and honest. He'll tell you what he thought. But I know the first 5 hits were all off his fastball.
And of the 10 hits he gave up, 9 singles and 1 double. So they certainly were not muscling up.
I'm not going to fault Duffy. I'm going to credit the White Sox.
Drilled to center field. Kane got a good jump. Garcia almost hit it through his glove. 2 outs.
That ball was tagged.
Tim Anderson with 2 down. One for 4 tonight with a first inning single. That bat split. And someone hit the top of it with an axe. And more ground ball outs for Chris Young tonight. let's go back to Yankee Stadium. That is another home run for the rookie Aaron Judge. So he now leads the American League. He hit 2 home runs. He has 12 home runs. Brett Gardner, who got off to a bad start, has hit 2 home runs. Edinson Volquez had an interesting night tonight. The former Royal in his first year with the Marlins. First pitcher in Major League history with 8 walks and 9 strikeouts in less than 5 innings.
Oh, man.
That's a lot of standing around on defense.
Oof.
Carlos Martinez, you know, the hard-throwing right-hander for the Cardinals, he had an interesting game in the middle of April. The Cardinals were at Yankee Stadium, and he became the first pitcher in 60 years with at least 6 walks and 6 strikeouts in the first 2 innings.
Wow. How do you do that?
3-pitch strikeout. Quintana gets Escobar. Quintana didn't have a lot of strikeouts in his first 5 innings. He only had 3, and now he has 4 in his last 2 innings.
Now, if you want consistency, that's exactly what you got right there. That's beautiful.
He could pitch into the 12th inning tonight if he needed to.
Now, he only has 1 complete game in his career.
Seven and a third scoreless tonight. On Wednesday, the Royals scored 2 runs against him in 6 innings. Colon had a bug fly into his eye. It's hard enough to hit Quintana without a bug in your eye. I don't know. Maybe you take a shot at him with 1 eye tonight. Let's see what happens.
Don't like your chances with 2. With 3 eyes.
Remember that story about Nolan Ryan? I think he was throwing a shutout or no hitter against the Tigers, and late in the game, Norm Cash for the Tigers, who was a real character, went up to the plate. He ripped a leg off a table and went up to the plate with a table leg in his hand instead of a bat. Colon on with a bunt.
That's funny. Did he really?
And as the story goes, the umpire said, "You can't come up here with that in your hand." He said, "Well, I can't get a hit off him with a bat, so I might as well try something else."
If he had a Bodor, that would have been hysterical. No, but that's funny. Now, but I don't think Quintana thought that bunt was too funny, because I don't know. He looked at, he stared at Colon going down the line like, how did you bunt that? That ball was at your neck. It was neck high. Hard to get on top of that, but Colon will take the single. That's funny. Is there a picture of that anywhere? I'd like to see that Norm Cash going to the mound like that. I mean, going to the batter's box. That's funny.
Playable for Garcia in center field, backed up by Garcia, who is also flanked by Garcia. 2 down. That would be Willie in left, Leuri in center, and Avisail in right.
Garcia.
Down and into Whitmere Field, 1 for 3. Whit has already hit 2 home runs in 35 at-bats, or at least 2 home runs in his first 35 at-bats. Last year it took him 311 at-bats to hit 2 home runs. He almost hit 3 home runs on Sunday against Minnesota. He had that home run late inside the foul pole in left field, but then he also flied to the warning track and right a couple of times.
No, he's got nice pop, and especially to the opposite field. I've been impressed with him going that way. Good job laying off that high one. Quintana's been pinpoint with his accuracy, just one walk. And now his 97th pitch.
Up until tonight, it had been somewhat of a struggle for Quintana in his first 5 starts. 5.22 earned run average coming into tonight.
Talking with that man right there who knows everything about a Chicago White Sox pitcher in the last 27 years. He was not worried a bit about Quintana. I talked to him the other day. He says, I said, what about your guy, your lefty? He goes, don't worry about him. He's fine. And he's right.
I believe him.
Me too.
And now Witt walks. He has been rumored to be on the trading block since the beginning of spring training, and of course the White Sox traded Chris Sale, they traded Adam Eaton. The name that keeps coming up, or the team that keeps coming up, is the Houston Astros, as they're looking for another frontline starter. The White Sox, man, they got a load of prospects for Sale, they got a load of prospects for Adam Eaton, and expecting the same for Jose Quintana. But from the Astros point of view, it's just a bit too much right now. The White Sox want some young players from the Astros, and they want part of Galveston Bay.
Yeah. And some of the complaint, though, from some of the fans I heard when we were in Chicago, was just the fans, you know, and they were voicing that they wanted somebody that was major league ready, that was a major leaguer instead of all these prospects. They were we want somebody that's going to help us now. But it's easy to tell ownership what to do, isn't it? And to spend their money,
right,
and make trades for them.
Off of Quintana's glove, and waiting for it at second base is Sanchez. Royals say hang on a second. Whit Merrifield's not going anywhere, and Don Wakamatsu, with the lightning quick reflexes of Bill Duplessis, said nope, he was out, and he was. To the top of the 9th inning. Tomorrow, also a night game. Nate Carnes for the Royals. Mike Pelfrey grew up in Wichita, went to Wichita State. And then a Thursday afternoon game, Ian Kennedy against Derek Holland. And the Royals will have the Cleveland Indians in town over the weekend. Travis Wood will pitch the top of the 9th. He's the Chevy call to the bullpen. 5 1/3 innings, 8 walks. So it stands out more than anything else.
Well, had some issues early. That's all. And you know what? Like Joakim Soria last year, he's never experienced any kind of a season like this so far. So look, let's give him some time and let him kind of get himself together and throw some strikes and get back to it.
Strike to Yolmer Sanchez, who has a 3-hit game. And has the only extra base hit for the White Sox tonight. 11 hits, 10 singles. Sanchez led off the 3rd inning with a double and scored. And then he drove in a run with a single in the 6th.
Travis Wood, 5'11", 175 pounds. 87 and 92, cut fastball, curved slider change. He'll use both sides of the plate when he's on. He's got a little bit like Vargas. When he's going good, he's putting it right on the corners.
Listening to Jason Vargas after the game last night during the post-game show and saying he thought he pitched pretty well for not being that sharp. Oh, really? I'd say so. 1 run in 6 innings is pretty good for not very sharp.
Against a decent hitting team. Look what they did to Duffy tonight. Well, I think he's talking about the 3 walks.
Leadoff walk to Sanchez, who's on for the 4th time tonight. Now the middle of the order coming up, and Melky Cabrera. Down the middle for strike 1. Escobar to Colon. Quick turn, double play. And quick turn because Sanchez was right in his lap. New slide rule or not, that was not an easy play.
Hey, that's as close to the throwback turn as I've seen in a while. Yeah, that's a little too hopper. Firm, like the quickness. And the fact that you got to get off of that left foot if you're Colon. That foot stays down, he hits that knee, you know, he could be in trouble.
One 1-0 on Jose Abreu, 1 for 4 with a run scored. Two balls and no strikes. Two and 1 as a crowd of 18,604 has thinned out on a school night coming up on 10 p.m. Just a couple more weeks of school left. Jammed him. Inning over, so leadoff walk, but Wood gets a double play, another ground ball, and the Royals come up in the bottom of the 9th, down by 6. Jose Quintana. 8 excellent innings. Started racking up the strikeouts later in his outing tonight, and the Royals just couldn't get anything going against him. He gave up 4 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 7. 102 pitches, and he's 3 outs away from just his 3rd career win against the Royals in 24 starts.
Yeah, and he just, it's almost like he had a chip on his shoulder. He says, I'm coming out after you. And he did. Pretty impressive.
Well, we were telling you about the White Sox great start from their bullpen. And here's Anthony Swarzak, who's made 9 appearances and has a 0 ERA. 12 1/3 innings, 3 hits, and 14 strikeouts.
Swarzak, what his weapons are: 90 to 95 mile-an-hour fastball, slider, change, curve.
No swing. Kerwin Danley is the third base umpire tonight. It'll be Hosmer, Perez, and Bonifacio. One and 2.
3 ground balls to the second baseman to the right side. One of them he beat out because he hit it to the left of Yolmer Sanchez. Excuse me, to his right. He hit it right out in here. A little easy, little doinker kind of.
Just foul. Still 1 and 2 on Hosmer. His home run tonight, or last night rather, late, was his 16th in his career against the White Sox, most against any opponent. He drove in 23 against the White Sox last year. Willie Garcia comes over from left, 1 down in the 9th inning. Coming up after the game, we'll have Boulevard Royals Live with Joel, who's going solo tonight. Look back on Danny Duffy's start and a couple of rough ones against the White Sox in back-to-back starts. Jose Quintana, another quality start and then some, with 8 scoreless innings. Reaction from the Royals clubhouse and get you ready for tomorrow night. Ball 1 to Salvi. 0 for 3 against Quintana. Talking about the White Sox and the way they've pitched and they've defended in the first month plus of the season. Here's a stat where they've done really well. So Brady waits for it on the right side, straddling the line. They'll call it a fair ball catch. 2 down. Tell me if this stat rings a bell. Their record scoring 4 or more runs. Remember, that was the magic number for the Royals in 14 and 15 with their bullpen, the way the White Sox bullpen has been. Their pitching don't need a whole lot of offense, and the Royals were great in that area. You're saying that's a word that's used too much. Well, the Royals were great. Well, the White Sox 1 out away from being 11 and 1 this year when they score 4 or more runs. That's the 3rd best in the major leagues. It doesn't take a lot on offense. And tonight they got 6. Strike to Bonifacio. Royals are 4-4 when they score 4 or more runs.
That's what you have when you have a shutdown pin so far early.
Royals in 14 and 15, the years they won the pennant, were 143 and 31 when they scored 4 or more runs. 112 games above 500 over 2 years.
Yeah, I remember. Whenever we got 4 runs, I would go ding, ding, ding,
yeah.
ding. That was like.
And we all loved it when you would do that.
No, you did.
One and 2 on Bonifacio. Two balls, 2 strikes. Anthony Swarzak trying to join a growing list of pitchers who didn't quite have enough as a starter, but create a brand new career for themselves when they move to the bullpen and maybe whittle down 4 or 3 pitches to their 2 best pitches.
Yeah, and you know you can let it all out. Air out the tank. Swarzak, you know, he's 31 years old. It's not like he's an old guy. But look at that. I mean, he's got some cutting action in that pitch. Pretty strong.
Well, when it's all said and done, the White Sox only needed 1 run with the way Quintana and Swarzak pitched. And the Royals are shut out for the 3rd time this year. And the Royals fall to just 1-4 against the White Sox this season. Final score 6-0 Chicago. We'll be right back.